This week I have a lovely kind of shimmery peacock on my card. It's a thank you card, and this is using a new double-sided paper pack called Simply Susan, and here is a peek at the inside. I love the color combination of this paper pack, and I can't wait to get started and show you how I made this card. Today I'll be working with some really pretty products. I have the Simply Susan paper pack, and this is a double-sided paper pack. There are 12 sheets, but I'll show you the 6 designs. You're getting 2 of each sheet. So this paper pack has some really beautiful blossoms and some kind of doodle style embellishments on it. Here's the first sheet, and on the back is the purple. Then we have a really tiny overall tan or gray and teal print with a large black and white dot. This one's really pretty. I love all the circle blossoms on here. And a green all over texture. Same with a gray. This is really pretty on the back too. This is a black and green tiny print. And on the back, it looks kind of like a fabric on here. It's like a black texture. And this has got a tiny zigzag pattern. And on the back, a larger chevron pattern, and it has all the colors of the paper pack in it. Now to go with this, there are the Simply Susan ribbons. There's a dozen different ribbons. They're all a yard each, and they are picked specifically for this paper set. We have the white jewel dazzles, and these are new. They are a flat or a slick white, and they are surrounded by a silver border. So those are fun. And then also the silver thin lines dazzles, and there are 63 lines on here, so plenty to go around. And last but not least, the Birds of a Feather 3D paper Tole with the beautiful peacock embellishment on here. And there's also a pretty tag too. So let's get started. So I've got my 5" by 6.5" blank white card, and what I've done is I've taken this purple paper and I've cut just enough to fill the front of the card, but I'm not going to glue it on just yet because I'm going to end up gluing some ribbons on here before I glue it down to the front of the card. So set the card aside first. Now I have also cut 2 other pieces, this turquoise piece and this gray piece. Now these are actually coming from the same paper because they're double-sided, but they're going to be glued together like this. So just using some glue stick. Centering it on there. Now this piece is going to get glued to the purple piece, and it's going to get glued about right here, about 1.5 inches up from the bottom of the card. Now I'm going to turn this piece over and just trim off the excess. Now I'm going to take this grid ribbon and I'm going to put it across the turquoise strips, both top and bottom. So I'm going to cut it about maybe a 1/2 inch longer than my card, and I'm going to go ahead and take my Zots and stick it on the end of the ribbon. So I've got my ribbon with my Zot on the end. I'm going to go to the back of the card and kind of wrap it around, stick it on. Then I'm going to do the same on the other end, and then again across the other turquoise strip. Now that I've got both ribbons on, I can go ahead and glue this to the front of my card. These are all 6 pieces of the peacock I'm going to be using. This is the foil paper Tole, so each piece has that lovely shimmer to it. So each of these pieces I'm going to put foam tape on the back of and simply layer on top of the original image, matching up the images as I go. So this will go on first and then from left to right in order. Alright, now I have my beautiful peacock glued down to the front of my card, and I've already pre-made my greeting here. So it's going to be a thank you card, and I've simply stamped thank you, which is coming from this Labels and Frames stamp set. So you've got all these frames, decorative frames, and then the labels are interchangeable. So I've picked the thank you, and I've just stamped that with my jet black Stays On onto the olive green paper, and there's the back of it. And then I matted it on this black texture. So that's ready to be foam taped right about here. Now I've made a tiny little bow out of this turquoise grosgrain ribbon, and I put some dots on the back of it, and that's just going to go kind of on the corner of the greeting, just for another touch of dimension there. So now I am almost done with the front. I'm just going to add some of the thin lines dazzles and the white jewel dazzles. So I'll go ahead and add them, and then I'll show you what I've done. Okay, so I've done this upper corner with some silver thin lines dazzles and some of the white jewel dazzles, as you can see. So there is a certain pattern to this, which I'll show you in a second. But I've also used the jewel dazzles on the border here of the ribbon. So I've just marked with a pencil every 1/4 inch along the ribbon, and then I've just placed a small jewel dazzle on each of the markings, and then just stacked up every other jewel dazzle. And I've done the same along the bottom here. So what I've done on this corner is I've marked every 1/2 inch. So here's a half, here's an inch, inch and a half, and 2 inches. I've done the same here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm just going to draw with a pencil some lines here. So I'm going to start on the marking that's closest to the corner on this side, and then on this side I'm going to start with the marking that's farthest from the corner. And I'm not going to draw all the way across, but just until the dazzles here. So there's the first marking. Then going to the second one, I'm going to draw a line from here to the second one down. And this is going to be where I place my thin lines. Then the third marking, connect that to the third one down. And the fourth one to the last dot. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to take my thin lines dazzles, and I've used the thinnest silver line here, and I've just trimmed off as much as I need, so I can kind of lay my card on top of the line here and see, okay, I don't need the whole line, I just need about that much of it, so I'm going to just make a little tiny cut right here and peel that up. So I have this line, so I'm going to connect it from here, or excuse me, we'll do the first one first. Here to here. So I'm just going to trim it before the ribbon. There we go. And I'll go ahead and cover in the same order all of the lines with the silver line dazzles. So once I've done all the silver lines, I'm going to take my white jewel dazzles and using the smallest jewels, I'm going to just place it on the tip of my knife. I'm going to place one on either side of each X of the design. So here's one. Here's two. Three. 4. 5. And 6. Okay, so you're kind of seeing a pattern here. And then finally, I'm going to take a medium-sized white jewel. That's going to go right here in the corner. And then another tiny jewel in the very tip. Okay, so when you see this corner, then I move up to this corner, you'll see that they mirror each other. Now I'm done with the front of my card. Now for the inside, what I've done is covered the whole piece with the purple floral paper, and then I've done a 4-inch square of green. I've done the same treatment as on the front of the corners here on this part, and so this is for your personalized greeting. And I've also glued a bow of this ribbon in the corner and used this extra artwork from the Birds of a Feather paper Tole. There's an extra piece right here, and I've zotted that over the bow, and I'm calling that good. So I hope you guys like this card. Stay tuned for the bundle offering, and I'll see you again next week. Thanks for watching. First in the bundle is the Simply Susan paper pack, and this is a double-sided paper pack, so there are a dozen different designs. You're getting 6 sheets, but you're getting 2 of each sheet, so you're getting 12 total. And I love the colors on here, and when I was at Hot Off the Press, I worked with Susan, one of the designers there, and I can see how this is named after her. It's so pretty and feminine and very elegant at the same time. So just to show you all of the designs front and back, there's black and white, and then there's also teal, kind of a lime, not a lime green, but maybe an olive green, and then lilacs, which is really pretty. So here on this one piece, you can see all the different colors at once. And I love this chevron pattern. There are a few details on here that you can tell it's kind of like a doodle, whimsical, but yet elegant style. So I love that touch on this paper pack. In addition to the paper pack, in the bundle we have the Birds of a Feather 3D foil paper Tole. You can see how shiny this is. And if you're not familiar with paper Tole, there are images on here that stack up with foam tape, and they will end up being 3-dimensional. And the fun thing about foil is that it has that shimmer effect. We also have the Simply Susan ribbon set, and there are a dozen different ribbons, and they are all a yard each. And then 2 sets of dazzles. We have the silver thin lines dazzles, and of course the white jewel dazzles. And there are 540 jewels on here, and there are 63 lines on here. So lots of bang for your buck there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next week.